Welcome to episode 48 of It's No Secret Podcast Live. We are your hosts, Bianca Rose, Teresa, and Sharis. My mic works.
Yay, she's back. Because I was getting anxiety the last time that happened.
Yeah. Thanks for
I forgot my
covering.
cue cards and everything.
How are you, ladies?
Doing
Good.
so good.
Oh my God, we got people in the chat already. Shout out to Jada Contest on our
Yay.
YouTube. Let's go.
Love it.
Yes. Thank you to everyone who's watching us on our YouTube, Facebook, or our Instagram. We appreciate y'all. If you've ever watched an episode of ours before, you know we always start with our highs and lows. So B, you get to kick us off with your low for the week.
Okay, bring in our our class pet, Milo.
Milo.
My low is that I got news last week that my counterpartner at work has transitioned to a new team. So that was very sad and gave me a lot of anxiety because those are some big shoes to fill. So, but I'm happy for her, and it's gonna make me step up my game a lot. So,
Which
it's
you will do
a
great.
low, but yeah.
You'll do great.
What about you, T?
Milo actually happened right before you guys came on backstage, but I got a text that one of my friends got rear-ended on her way home, and I just feel like she's just been going through it lately. Like she's just really getting the shitty end of the stick these last couple weeks. So, shout out to Michelle.
Oh, I'm Michelle.
Yeah, Michelle. She's okay and all is well, but my poor baby, I just
She's
feel
going
for
through
her.
it. She's gonna need a drink after this.
Yeah, my low is that she's had a low like month ish. Yeah. Shari, what about you? What's your low?
My low this week is that I realized today I ain't seen Babe in a week.
Has it been a week?
That's crazy.
That is
Wow.
crazy.
So yes, that is my low officially.
Tell him to get your shit together, man. No, I'm just kidding.
Life is lifing.
Yeah.
We got a lot going on, so
Yeah.
understandable, but still, the hell.
Yeah. Damn life. Chill the fuck out, please.
Yeah.
Yep.
We got a low from Jada Countessa on our YouTube. She said her low was discovering how petty and poisonous some people at work are.
Say it again louder for the people in the back.
Well, now,
Please.
Jesus, yeah.
It's a fun or not so fun thing to find things out about you.
Yeah, no,
Like,
definitely.
oh, tell me how you really feel.
Yeah, good to know.
Yeah, let me tell you something about you then. My turn.
Mhm. Man, that's definitely a low for sure.
Yeah.
But let's switch it up. Oh, Unk's in the chat too from our
Hi,
Facebook. Hi, Unk.
Hello.
All right, so let's switch it up to our highs of the week on a positive note. B, what was your high?
My high is that despite having that news last week, I took the next 5 days off because Veterans Day we obviously all had off. So I decided to take advantage of my schedule and take one extra day of PTO to make it all consecutive days off.
Nice.
And you know what? Ignorance is bliss because those 5 days were the best. It's like I don't have to address anything. It's not real until Wednesday. Today's the first day back. That's when I can address all the problems. But for those 5 days,
So
ignorance was bliss.
you've damn near been off since the last time we saw you on here.
Hell yeah. And then the fact that I still keep my schedule. So today was my Monday, tomorrow's my Friday, and then I'm off again. Baby.
Ah, you bitch.
I love cheating the system just a little bit, just enough.
Hi.
Oh man, lucky.
What about you, T? What's your high for the week?
My high, since I have been at work, is that my work days this Monday, so the last couple days, they've actually felt like shorter. They've been like real quick. I think it's because I've been spending some time in the field a little bit more, but like the days have been very short, which I am appreciating right now because work, we always say work is working.
Work is working.
My nerves, but I need my paycheck, so thank you.
It
Shari,
helps when the days go faster. So
it
yeah.
does. It does, yeah. Shar, what was your high?
My high happened on what's today?
Wednesday.
The Monday.
Therapy day.
Therapy day.
I don't. My days are all thrown off. On Monday, I had took my son to a baseball tryout last Thursday, and we got the phone call on Monday that he made the team. So
Aw.
that was really exciting. So I'm just excited, not excited to get back into my baseball mom life, but
Let the
yeah.
fun begin.
Yeah, but that was definitely exciting and to see him and yes, that part. It's already
Not to make it
starting.
rain.
Like literally on the phone call was like trying to listen to him over the cha-ching sounds in my head, and I'm like,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
great, yes, we're so excited. Oh no, fuck, we're not.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, so yeah, that was good news. So now he can get back to just being in his happy place. So
Is he
as a
excited about baseball?
Mm.
yes,
Okay.
he is. Now that he got back out there, he's just like, Mom, I'm like, I know, I tell you all the time, this is your sport. You just be trying to do everything else. But yeah, just to see him light up and be excited again was good.
That's good.
I love that.
Yay. We got a couple highs in the chat. Well, first of all, Nikita called out Bianca and said not everyone was off for Veterans Day.
Sorry to those people.
I was at work.
Camera
Uh,
light.
and then Unc shared his high. He said his granddaughter turned 4. Yeah,
Aw.
is Yaya his granddaughter? I'm assuming, or was that just him cheering for something?
Sorry to this man. I don't know.
Not sure. But yay, happy birthday to your granddaughter.
Big
Oh,
4.
it's a big change from 3 to 4.
Mhm.
Mm. I'll let you know when I know someone who's out of that. My niece is only what, gonna be 2.
Oh, you're
Yeah.
almost there. Don't
So
worry, it flies by.
yeah, we'll see.
Nikita said her high was learning and growing and preparing for what's next. I love that.
Mm.
Yeah.
Ah,
Oh, he
Okay.
said yay for the
okay,
baseball
clarification.
draft.
I was
There we
gonna
go.
look
I
like
was
a
like,
bad niece, right?
maybe? I don't know. Oh,
Well, I do know that Michelle would, if she were here, she might join us later, but she has a high for the week because she was bragging about it at work today.
was
Is
she?
that her son actually made the school's chess team.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. Yeah.
And it's a very competitive spot because only 5 students in the school make the team, and he was one of
Wow.
those 5.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He's what, like 9, I believe, 9 or 10. So I'm like, he's a smart kid.
Yes, he is.
He made us all proud at work.
He's very smart. Yeah. Good job, Ostino Pacino.
Yeah. And you
Enter
see
the
Bella in the
conversation.
background.
Hi, Bella.
She wanted to be in the room today.
Yes. All right. So for today's show, we are going to be talking about support systems and what that means to us as women, since we're all women here. But definitely want to hear from the guys in our chats. So make sure, fellas, to represent for one another, the few of you that are watching us right now. But, let us know from a male perspective, kind of where you guys stand with some of the things that we're saying from a female perspective, because I'd love to hear from the outside looking in what it is that you guys really think about some of the stuff that we're going to talk about. So I want to open this up with just asking a basic question about support systems. And it's, what does having a strong support system mean to you personally? Not everybody at once. It's too
I know. I was like,
overwhelming.
to me, the strong support system is someone who is reliable or dependent whenever you're either in need, or not even just when in need, but when you also want to celebrate. They're there for for the downs and the highs.
Yeah.
Someone who doesn't keep you delusional in that sense, where it's like, yeah, I'm supporting you. Maybe you weren't completely right, or maybe kind of keeps it real in that supportive way, that constructive criticism.
Mhm. Mhm.
I think that's the support that I prefer. That's what I recognize. That's what I love.
Okay. Shar, what about you?
Um, I mean, for me, having a support system is very important. Um, because again, like you said, it's about having someone there who's going to support you through whatever you're going through, whether it's the good or the bad.
Mhm.
And then for me, just with having kids, like having a support system, be able to help with them and like have my back when it comes to them, when I can't always spread myself that thin to get there. Um,
Mhm.
so like for me, it's really important.
Yeah. No, I agree with what both of you guys are saying. Like, for me, a strong support system is extremely important, um, because of everything, the emotional up and downs, the having the kids and having help in those types of aspects, um, the good, the bad, the ugly, right?
Mhm.
So, yeah, I definitely agree with what both of you guys said. I feel it. Now, with that said, do you guys feel that you are around a strong support system in this point in your life?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I feel like at my ripe age, I have filtered enough of the friends to where I am 100% confident in the close circle that I've handpicked, and
Yeah.
they've proven that over and over again. If if y'all have seen previous episodes, you know that I am heavily reliant and appreciative of friends and friendships, and the fact that I've had that support system from a lot of my female, they're all mostly female, support. It has encouraged me to do more and kind of kept me afloat even when I've had those lows.
That's nice. It's nice to have that. It's important. Excuse me. Sorry, I had a frog in my throat. It's important to have that. Um, how or how can I put this? How do you guys think it is to incorporate your support system as a woman when all the expectations for women are so high? Like, we're kind of expected to do it all. So that's why I'm glad, like, Shari mentioned the kids and stuff, because, like, from a female perspective, we are expected to do the career, to take care of the family, from a certain standpoint. We are supposed to have, strong friendships. We are supposed to take care of ourselves. Like, there's so much that is taught to women as far as like what's expected. So, how do you guys find a way to incorporate your support system for that? Or how can we support each other even more?
I think for me, it's because like I can say like I don't have the strongest support system that I've had, just simply because I'm one of those people who like when I'm going through things, I kind of like to deal with them on my own. Um, and then like the people who I have had around, my best friend being one of them, left the state. Um,
I don't know who she's talking about.
Shots fired. But and then I tend to yeah, I just tend to pull away from everybody else. Not saying that T is not there, not very supportive, 100%. Being thousands of miles away, still is very supportive. But I just I find myself doing it on my own. To answer the question is more like it's hard to incorporate that, right? So I find myself spread very, very thin, or I find myself not being able to do some of the things that people expect us to do, right? Like I feel like I don't put myself first. I don't
Mm.
take care of myself. I kind of get left behind. I'm kind of last on my list when it comes to everything else because I'm always going to make sure the kids are good, my family's good, like money's being made, the house is taken care of, like, all that's going to come first before me. So I think it's very difficult when you're trying to balance it all without a support system.
I agree because I too don't feel like I have the strongest support system right now, that I have ever had, especially moving halfway across the country from where that support system typically is. I will say that I feel like I'm building the foundation to a really good support system here now, um, which was needed. But I don't know. It's like sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. Sometimes I don't mind having more kind of everything evolving around my four walls,
Mm.
versus letting people in, and that might be something that I actually just need to work on. But it fluctuates for me as far as, like, how I incorporate my support system sometimes. Real quick, I wanna just catch us up on a couple comments here. So Fuzzy Bunny on our YouTube said, "Family or friends, support can be anyone involved in positive effect into your life, whatever way they are able to do that for you." That's true. I mean, I'd say I lean on a lot of my coworkers a lot right now that I don't have as strong of a support system. So I could
Mm.
definitely agree with that. And then Jaded Countessa said, "I think that other women can see that it is an unrealistic expectation and can help you bridge the gap." That's true.
That's very true.
And that's assuming it's women supporting women,
Yeah.
right? Which is something that I'll be frank, I feel like as women we need to work on. um, because I've, unfortunately in the past have had people that have very much torn me down versus build me up. And it was a lot of times not to my face, but,
Mm.
like, as women in general, like, I feel like we need to do a better job of supporting one another. Because if we can't support each other, how can we expect men to?
Mm. I
Like,
think
yeah.
Fuzzy Bunny kind of touched on something where it's like support can be from anybody that has that positive effect. So, I mean, acknowledging where the support is coming from, and also giving yourself a chance to give that same support in return. You kind of give and take. It's kind of like that balance thing. Support is needed not just for your own self, for your own sake. Jada Countess said, we do need to help each other bridge that gap because we can understand. As women, we have more maternal instincts where we do care and have that understanding and empathy towards one another that we can utilize that to support. But it's hard to do when you are so caught up as well of
Mhm.
I am the sole one who needs support. It's me, me, me. There is kind of also that barrier where you may be struggling, you're not the only one struggling.
Mhm.
And so understanding that can kind of help as well.
Yeah. Um, Shari, I wanted to call something out that she was talking about. She mentioned that she always puts herself last on her list of, like, priorities, essentially. As a mom, I think that's a very common thing that mothers let me let me rephrase that. I think that's a very common thing that good mothers do. Um, and I'm wondering now, like, how can women specifically balance their own personal ambitions and their self-care and anything like that without feeling like they're falling behind in other aspects of their life, like with their kids or with their spouse or partner or work or you know what I mean? Like, how do we balance what we need as individual people versus what everyone else needs and we're giving all the time?
I think it goes back to like the topic at hand, though. It's building that support system around you, right? Like being able to have people around you who are going to support you to carve out that time
Mm,
that you need to take care of yourself. Um, I think I think that's the biggest thing to it. I'm not going to say like it can't be done because it can be done, but I think it just takes a little more effort to
Yeah.
get the job done.
Yeah. And I think giving yourself grace too. See
mhm,
the value. in yourself that you see in others. You prioritize other people because you value other people. If you give yourself that grace to value yourself just as much, you might let yourself think that it, believe that it is okay to put yourself first. You, as the person who's going through something, know what your boundaries are, what your limits are, where you need help, and what you need to do. You are already thinking of other people. So if you are already kind of saying, well, who is it going to affect? Who do I need to consider? You already know what the limits are. So just give yourself that grace to kind of take part in that and, do what you need to do.
Yeah.
I think too. I think for me, like I've changed and I've evolved. So like the things that I would typically do for myself for self care, like that things that make me happy, and I found joy. I now find joy in doing other things that typically pertain to my kids.
Mm,
So it's like still keeping that balance. It's like my kids won't see me, like I always say, my kids are a reflection of me and I'm a reflection of them. I will never go outside looking crazy. I will never,
right.
like, I'm that's just not me. But like when it comes to like just being happy or like genuinely giving off that positive energy for my kids to be a reflection for them, like
Mm.
I just I shift, like as they grow and the things that they love and enjoy, like I shift those things to be my happiness. Not because like I'm forced to, but like genuinely, those are the things that make me happy.
Mhm.
Yeah. That's good. I have struggled, and again, in different phases of my life, but I have struggled with feeling guilty when I take time for myself.
Mm.
I still struggle with that, just not as bad as I used to. So there's progress being made, baby steps.
Baby
But
steps.
yeah, like I feel guilty when I spend money on something that I just want versus like a need for the household in some kind of way. Or I feel guilty when I say, "Hey, I'm going to get a babysitter to watch my kid so that I can go out." Like, it's a crazy battle, but I deal with that a lot. Do you guys ever deal with any scenarios that make you guys feel guilty for taking time for yourself instead of, like, showing up for someone else?
Before I answer, can we highlight Jada Contessa's last comment because it kind of relates to what you were saying is reminding yourself that you're a real human with real needs. You are also modeling that self-care for your kids as well. So it is okay to put you first because that is a reflection.
It is okay for sure, but let me tell you, it's a lot easier said than done,
Hmm.
at least for me. I can't
Mhm.
speak for everyone because I know there'd be, people out there
I
living
think
their best life.
I think the good moms would agree.
Right. It's a lot easier said than done because in my mind,
Hmm.
that's how I justify it. Like, even when I'm out and about, I'm like, "Girl, no, you deserve this. You deserve this." Right?
Mm.
You you need that time for yourself too, but it's a struggle. And then I'm looking at the time, "It's time to go home. It's time," like,
Right.
yeah.
Is she gonna be asleep before I get home? I didn't get to hug and like, yeah,
Right.
it's the guilt kicks in and it's
Fucking
horrible.
mom guilt, man. Fucking mom guilt.
Yeah.
Now
I think doing little like things little by little. We're not saying like jump off the deep end and
right.
just flip your whole life around and just prioritize you and only you. It takes time. It takes effort to make that transition to kind of start seeing the value in yourself that you too deserve that support, even if it comes from you. If it starts with your own mindset, that are you even willing to accept the support from someone else? Because if you, without making it seem like you are weak or guilty of feeling like a burden on somebody, that's a lot of um, inner thoughts to battle before even reaching out for or accepting that support.
I will say though, just to kind of re-emphasize the importance of a support system is that having people around me who understand that mentality
Mhm.
as a support system has helped for sure. Because I'll find myself telling them like, "No, make time for yourself. It's okay. And da, da, da. And so like hearing me just say it out loud to someone else that's also going through the same feelings that I'm feeling encourages me to like, okay, Teresa, now take your own advice.
Yeah. You know what? Let's take that a step further, because you know what is great about having those female support systems, because I've seen it happen and I've experienced it myself, is when people give that verbal support and then follow up with action. Like if I'm saying, "Hey, I'm going to go back to school," someone can say, "Oh, congratulations." A lot of people can say congratulations. Those people who stay behind and say, "What do you need from me? How can we make this happen?"
Mhm.
Those are that support system that we need, especially because it's like, oh, now it's real. I can sit with this and actually, come up with a plan. I have that support system that is not just verbally encouraging, but they stand on that and say, how can I make this happen for you? And it's not just supporting, in times of negative things. It's, the good things in life too. Like, oh, I got a promotion. I love when, my friends are like, let's go out and celebrate. They're supporting
Mhm.
those wins too. It's
Yeah.
not just those verbal words, it's actions that follow them too that make a big impact. And you create that safety, environment. See,
Yes.
Jada Countessa with me. She said, bitch, that follow through is everything. There's a lot of wins that I get to celebrate, or that I have personally have gotten to celebrate with my support system, because it's not just when you know, when I'm down, that the support system is there. That's what makes me actually feel less guilty or weak. I had that negative impact of reaching out or kind of sharing my experiences with somebody, because it's not always bad, it's good too. And they also want to experience that with me. That encourages me to keep going, because
Mhm.
as much as people always want to know what the bad news are, they want to know what's going on, they want to know those gritty details, that puro chismosas, they want to know everything.
Right.
But when it comes to the good things, you have more silence. And those who want to celebrate your wins and help you kind of achieve those things in life, those are the best support systems.
Yeah. Can I say just real quick, starting things like a podcast, put a lot of things like that into perspective
Mm,
because, when you're down and out, like Bianca said, everybody wants to know what you're going through and why and are you okay? But it's really just fucking people being nosy.
mhm,
Whereas when you're trying to celebrate a win or a milestone or a success, you're looking around and you're like, where the
mhm.
fuck did y'all go? Like,
Yep.
and and it's not just, I mean, I'm using the podcast as an example, but like as women, there's a lot of things that change that. Getting into a new relationship can trigger that. Getting pregnant or having a kid, getting married, moving halfway across the country. No, I'm not just talking
Damn,
about my
shots
life,
fired back.
guys. No. But like there's just so many things that can trigger a change in or calling out of that support system. And is it working? Is it not
Yeah.
working? Like that kind of
It's the follow through, it's the follow up, it's the sense of community that you have. I love when someone, tells me like some news, or like, I'm pregnant, something like that.
Mhm.
My response is, how do we feel? How do we feel about
Yeah, yeah.
that?
Good
Because it's
question
a
to
we.
ask.
It's not like I want you to feel like you are not alone in this. That we are happy, or we will figure something out. You are not alone.
You are
It is
not
that follow up and follow
alone.
through.
I am here with you. Sorry, I couldn't help myself.
Mm. The contessa right there coming in. Thoughts and
Yes,
prayers are not as helpful as a helpful hand.
agreed, agreed. Mel Nicole on our Facebook said, pura chismosas."
What are
Yeah,
chismosas? Everyone wants to be one. Not everyone likes to admit that they are one. Hi, certified.
I'm certified. All
Yeah.
right, now when it comes to support, because we talked about a lot of aspects or things that we kind of look for in a support system, right? I definitely need someone who motivates me or pushes me, who's driven. Like I like to surround myself around people like that. Um, but then there's also people who choose to follow like different paths. than you. Like maybe someone who you were previously in a support system with, but maybe you guys have grown apart or like just headed in different directions in life. How do we continue to support each other in those situations, or do we?
Mm.
I mean, I think you can I think you can still support each other.
Mhm.
Um, you should always, you know, if that's if someone is moving on doing something with their life that they want to do and like they're happy with, like then you should definitely support them and back them up. Unfortunately, I think it is a little harder to if you guys are not on this. It doesn't have to be the same exact path, but I think it becomes easier to be supportive of someone who's dealing with a similar situation to yours,
Mm.
just because you understand it, right? But if someone takes a different path that whether you agree or don't agree with, but they do something different with their life, I think you can still support them. It's just figuring out the how
Mm-hmm.
and what do they need. It's more so about, you know, like what are they looking for? What type of supports do they need? And I think it's just about having that conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's a difference between being supportive and being an enabler
Mm,
as well. So understanding where your boundary is with that person and how, is this support, is this type of support going to hurt or help the situation? Are they even looking to be helped, or are they okay with how the situation is? But sometimes even it can compromise your morale, your thoughts, and it's a very careful line that you don't want to cross, because it's like I'm inserting or even projecting. How is this person going to receive that? So I guess kind of acknowledging the person as well. How can I support? How are they going to, interpret this support? And what are the boundaries for myself?
yeah, and you touched on it when you first started talking about the topic B, like, at the beginning of the conversation. The, um the honest friends, right? Is having those people around you that are not just gonna tell you what you wanna hear, but are gonna tell you the truth, and yes, that can be a fine line depending on who's receiving the information or what state of mind that they're in. But I promise you, like, from my perspective, I appreciate the honesty over the sugarcoating or the agreement, any day. Like, I would much rather hear the truth. Yeah, it's still gonna sting sometimes, but I know, at least from the support system that I trust, like my core support system, I know
Mhm.
that everything they tell me is with good intent. And so, or I trust that everything they tell me is with good intent. I don't technically know, but I
Mhm.
trust, right? And so it's like, that's really important in those situations where maybe women are taking different paths too, is like Shari said, going back to that, is having that conversation and being like honest with each other of like, hey, we're clearly on different paths right now, but I'm here if you need anything. Like,
Mhm.
I have friends that I haven't spoken to in years because our paths are very different now. I'm married and have kids, and you know what I mean? Like things like that. And they're still single and free, and, but I, at the drop of a dime, would be there for them if they needed me. So it's
Mhm.
like, I agree that it's still possible, right, to keep those support systems in a way, when you really need them. They just might not be there for, like, the everyday, like, celebrations and the everyday highs and lows that we go through.
Mhm.
Highs and lows. Um, yeah. But do you guys feel that you have successfully had support systems that have separated? Like how I just said, like, I have friends that I don't talk to, but I'd be there for no matter what.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I
Yeah.
have.
I'd be just like,
It's like, I had to kind of think on that one. Yeah.
yeah. And how does that work for you guys? What makes
It's
it work?
it's gonna suck because what I was thinking of also made me realize that I am not in communication with the person who I thought of, and they probably don't know that I would still, that I'm still a phone call away. So that
Mm,
kind of made me go off on a little tangent thought because I'm like, you kind of hit on it. Like, you don't have to be, part of each other's everyday lives, and you could go your separate ways. Um, just different paths, different journeys. For that, I don't have communication with somebody because of that, and I would still like go to them immediately if they needed me. They probably don't know that because I. How do you communicate that if you're not in communication?
right. Right.
So I guess I need advice on that one because that made me think.
Well, in a lot of cases, at least like for me, I think, yes, we haven't talked in a long, long time, but every time we have talked, it's part of the conversation.
Mm,
It's like, I know we don't talk often, but if you ever need anything. It's like unspoken almost, but
yeah.
it's known. At least I hope so. Now you're
Well, that's what
making
I'm
me
saying. Like, is
question
the
it.
unspoken doing any damage or maybe preventing someone from being supportive?
Probably. Now
I
I'm
think
like, yeah, go ahead.
No, I was saying I think like today, like in the world that we live in now, I think it's easy to even still stay connected to those that we are distant from because it's like
Mhm.
it's a simple thing. Like most people will only chime in for the bad things that people discuss, right, on social media or whatever they post. But it's like even if it's someone who you haven't verbally talked to, you can always like support something that they say or comment on something that they post, like just to say like, hey, I am still here, like
I'm
I
here.
see
Yeah.
you, like, like,
Yeah.
and shine a little light on them. Like I think it's still very possible to do that even when you do feel disconnected.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. So now I'm going to get into something that's honestly specific more so to women because I think it's important to talk about this when we talk about support systems. And that is the competition or the comparisons and things like that when it comes to the world of women. It's a lot of women, I'm not saying all, but a lot of women tend to compare themselves to their friends or the people around them. And the comparisons cause, sometimes jealousy, sometimes resentment, sometimes things like that. So, like, what does it mean to actually celebrate each other and the different versions of success that we have as women instead of constantly comparing ourselves to somebody else?
Hmm. Do you want to lead that conversation, T?
Sure, I can. Like, for me, to me, if I'm being completely transparent, for me, the people that I'm comparing myself to or feel like I'm in competition with are not generally the people that I'm the closest to.
Mm,
Um, because when I have people that I consider family is what I consider my support system, whether they're blood or not, right? The people that are in my support system, they're family to me. And when I consider you to be in that bubble, like there is no comparison. There is no competition. I feel
mm,
like we are all, we're all equally stacked in different ways, but we all have our strengths and weaknesses. And so we just use our foundation and our support to build each other up, right? I feel more so that like I'll compare myself to people I don't even know, or I'll, see someone who's doing something that I've always wanted to do and maybe never got an opportunity to. And that's the things that I'm kind of comparing to or competing with or, things like that. It's for me personally, it's not necessarily someone that I consider to be in my support system.
mm.
And again, I think the world that we live in today makes that all a very tricky situation.
Yeah.
because like you said, it's somebody you don't even know, which typically is someone you've seen on social media, right? And it's like, God, they're doing this
Mhm.
and they're doing that. But again, who posts the bad shit that they're going through on social media? I mean, don't get me wrong, you
I
do
was
have
like, I know
Yes.
a couple people and I love reading their shit.
you do have
Little
some
chismosa.
people that do.
Chismosa.
But for the most part, the people that you're comparing yourself to are the people that you're seeing live the high life or the life
Mhm.
that you want, right?
Right.
But we don't know what they're dealing with
Mm,
on the back end, or deep down inside, what demons they're battling themselves within themselves. So it's like, yeah, it may all look great from the outside looking in and look glamorous, but you don't know what they're putting up with to even be living that life,
yeah, correct.
right? So I
Mhm.
think, like, we have to be just very careful with that,
With
and
assuming.
not only assuming but comparing ourselves
Mm.
to different people, right? Because I feel like it doesn't do us any good. For me, it's more like, great, like, like, and I think, and not saying that like comparing yourself is a bad thing
Right.
to other people, but I just think that we should all just give each other some grace, right? Like, if that's what you're living in right now and it's all great, great, I'm happy for you. We're not all living the same life at the same time, and
Yeah.
maybe your time just hasn't arrived yet, like,
Right.
but you can have it too. I think we have to think we have to live in it more of that. We're not all living the same timeline, but we can also have it.
Mhm.
And then I think it makes it life in that situation for people to feel more comfortable, because I can say, as a woman personally, like, it's very hard for me to build a support system with women.
Why do you think that is?
For me personally, one, because I've been burned a lot in my life, so I tend to stay clear of bringing other women into my life. Like, if you're there and you've been there, then great. But like, to add new people in, and like, I'm still learning this lesson to this day, dealing with a bunch of craziness. But I feel like it is hard, because I think you're not going to always find a woman who doesn't compare herself to you, when, like you said, like, the people that I'm around and the people that I'm closer to, I'm not going to compare myself to,
Right.
because we can balance each other out, right? But you're not going to always find that in women.
Mhm.
Mm,
And so I think it is very difficult to want to bring somebody in and share your life with somebody to that depth, when I don't know if you're over there jealous and envious, and I'm very big on energy. So, like, you could be sitting over there real green about me and I don't know it, but you sitting in my circle. Like, what does that do for me?
yeah.
Right.
So I think we have to be very careful. And I think that's what makes having, if we're talking about women, supporting women, very
Mhm.
challenging.
Yeah. I have definitely, found it easier to get along with guys growing up too. That may be a lot to do with how I grew up though, because I grew up around predominantly guys. I had more brothers, only one sister. My cousins were all majority male. You know what I mean? So I think that has something to do with it too for me. Um, but like Shari mentioned, like I too have been burned from the female species on multiple occasions in ways that even men are like, damn. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like I would never do that to another dude. You know what I mean? Like, or to
Yeah,
my
but
bro.
no, never
Like,
mind.
Yeah.
they do, but you know what I mean? But it's just, and then I'm also like, I don't know, I'm a little bit more laid back than most women, I guess, because like even guys will be like you're different, like you're more chill, like you're more zen. I have like a calming kind of effect on people apparently. And a lot of women are very emotional and let me rephrase that because I'm very emotional, but like outwardly emotional. So I don't know if that's got something to do with it
I
too.
kind of want to ask you then, because you're saying that y'all are, y'all have more, y'all have trouble with the female support, but can find it better with the support in men. how does the support from men show up different than the support in female in y'all's past experience or expectations even?
I will say, just from my personal experiences, my male friends have looked out for me more than my female friends sometimes. I think a lot of men just feel like protectors naturally. And so I've been in a lot of spaces where I've had both a male and a female friend, and she was more concerned about herself versus he was concerned about all of us, kind of thing. And so those types of actions stand out to me. Um, but again, that doesn't necessarily have to be a male female thing, right? That can just be a person thing. And
Yeah.
maybe I just had a really bad picker in the past for women.
Because
Like,
I was also going to ask,
yeah.
how has a male support shown up in a supporting something good? You kind of mentioned, like, some they had a protective kind of sense over it and they supported you in that way. But what about the good things in life? How has a male supported you for the good things?
Celebration, like I've had a lot of, again, I grew up around a lot of men. So I had a lot of male cheerleaders in my life for all of my milestones. Like, you know, whereas sometimes if it's a woman doing something that another woman really wanted to do, the guy friend's like, "Oh, great job, you finally did it." Whereas the woman's like, "Yeah, good job." But then they're turning around like, "I wanted to do that first." You know what I mean? Like, or whatever the case is. So it's like, yeah, it's a lot. Real quick, I do want to catch us up on a couple comments here. Earlier when Bianca was talking about the actual possible miscommunication, Nikita said, "Great point. I plan to be more intentional and explicit to avoid possible miscommunication."
Mm.
That's important. Fuzzy Bunny on our YouTube also said, "Comparison is a dangerous source of unhappiness. Learning to compare in a healthy manner is a learned skill." Absolutely.
Yeah, I think that too is important because someone can compare and again be envious of that, and then someone can also compare and be like, if they could do it, I can do it. Or men,
Yes.
they paved the way. They're fucking trailblazing. I can follow in their footsteps. They set an example.
Yeah.
Not everyone can see it that way.
And then Jaded Countessa on our YouTube also said, "I think that people can fall into the trap of crab in a bucket thinking. You can't use the tools of oppression, i.e. patriarchy, racism, etc., to overcome."
Mm.
All right. That got deep real fast. Okay, listeners. Okay. Going back to just women in general, how is it that women can truly lean on each other through those different experiences that we all constantly have? Like, what if we had to give advice to a younger generation of women to say, these are some things to look out for, or these are some things that you can do that will truly help you like lean into more of a female empowered environment? What would you guys say to them?
Learn what your friend will accept as support.
I love that one, B. I'm going to write that one down. Yeah.
I
I
think
never even thought about that.
I think too is like as far as like comparison, right? Like don't always believe like what you give is what you're going to get back. And
Mm,
I think that's a hard thing. I think a lot of people do things for something in return versus just doing it because you genuinely care and you genuinely want to see someone doing great, whether it's better than you or not. I think you just have to really have a pure heart and pure intentions when you go into it.
I would advise the younger generation to trust their gut more because I feel like as women, we get a lot of gut instincts and we don't always trust them.
Mm.
and find a support system that will encourage you to do so, and not necessarily try to stop you from doing that.
Like that.
Mhm.
I still like what B said better though, but
I should have went last.
I'm jealous. I'm just kidding.
I wanted that first.
I wanted to say it first. Okay, and now let's incorporate the guys. How do you guys think that men can support their women better? Whether it's a partnership, a friendship, family members, things like that, since we're talking from a woman's perspective.
I think I'm
How
going to go back to what I said earlier. It's the follow up and follow through. Don't just talk
mm,
about it, be about it. How can you help? You can say, I'm here to help you actually help. You can say, I'm proud of you. You're going to do great. No, ask, what do you need from me? How can we make this easier for you? Acknowledge how there is action that can be done. It's not, maybe not ask, can I help with something? Maybe ask, how do I help? What do you need? Kind
yeah,
of just don't leave that, do you need help? That yes or no question, you know how they always say, like, if you ask a yes or no question, it's always going to be no, because we don't want to be a burden on somebody.
right.
So it's not, kind of phrase that question of helping. It's like, not do you need help? It's how can I help?
Yeah. Kind of piggybacking on what Bianca said a little bit, like do what you say and say what you mean.
Mm,
If you mean it, then say it. If not, then don't. And if you say it, then do it. If not, then don't say it. Like,
mhm.
yeah. You were gonna say something, Shar. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like, I think for men, I think they need to listen with listening ears.
Mm. Sorry.
We're like, ooh.
Yes. Snap to that.
I think a lot of the times men will ask you questions or ask things when it's not going anywhere. Like they're not even processing it in their minds. It's just to create conversation, right? But like, let's not do that. Like, if you're gonna ask a question, ask because you genuinely give a shit and you want to help,
Mm.
and let's figure out
Don't
how.
just do it because it's polite.
Right.
Yeah.
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 Mean what you say.
Turn them listening ears on.
Yeah.
Yes. I will say too, is like men to me are a lot more direct with what they say. Like they just kind of say how they feel and that's it. There's nothing more to it. But men, if I can give you guys some advice, you got to read between the lines with us women. Because a lot of times, to Bianca's point, she said it right. We don't want to be a burden. Don't leave us with the yes or no. So sometimes you got to learn to speak the body language too
Mm,
and read us that way because sometimes what's coming out of our mouths isn't always exactly what we want to say in that moment.
yeah. Know that person.
Mhm.
Data Contessa on our YouTube said, establish trust, be honest, know that you can't do it alone, and life is scary and nobody makes it out alive.
Mm,
So follow that advice.
you can't do it alone, Shari. Just
And
kidding.
then highlighting Fuzzy Bunny too, said, I think basic skills are overlooked. Kind of, agreeing with what Shari said, that listening and recognizing what is needed versus what's the first thing that comes to mind. Men are natural fixers.
They are. That's why when your girl starts talking to you guys, ask them, am I listening because we want to fix something? Or am I listening because you just want to vent right
That one.
now? Mhm. Fuzzy Bunny also said, I know I'm still trying best to listening. Edit. I said it before you said it. Teresa with the truth. I try
She
sometimes.
tries. She's preaching to the choir.
And then Fuzzy Bunny said, men, big, dumb. Reading between lines is hard.
You just got to learn your person.
Yes.
Learn the person who you're trying to support so you know how to support them in the way that they will feel supported.
Mhm. And you're
Tag
not
that
always
with
going
my
to get it
line.
right. You're not always going to get it right. And that's okay.
Yeah.
That is okay. But yeah, reading between the lines is hard, but
It's possible.
complicated order.
It's possible.
All right. With that said, we are at the top of the hour here. Any closing remarks, ladies, before we go?
Thank you for being my support system.
For real. All of y'all, even the people in the chat.
I was like, actually, all the viewers who tune in every week, y'all have done so much more supporting on this podcast than y'all realize. This
No,
is why we keep doing it. We keep coming back.
when I tell you that this show is therapy for me, I mean it, you guys. So, yes, thank you guys all for being my support system for sure. Barry's had to deal with it a lot longer than the rest of y'all, but we're here, baby. We're here.
I read between the lines. I know my person.
Yes, yes. Know your person. All right, B, if people are living under a rock and don't know how to find us, you want to let them know?
Yes. If you want to support us, maybe if you haven't already, maybe you can find someone else who hasn't already. They can follow, like, subscribe to us on our social media. That's Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at It's No Secret Podcast, as well as our TikTok at It's No Secret Podcast Live. And if you can't join us on our live stream every Wednesday, then you can listen to us on Spotify and Apple every Sunday. But if you love to see our beautiful faces, you can always rewatch these videos on YouTube.
Yes, and it's fun. Real quick, before we say goodbye, I want to give you guys a little teaser that next week, tell your friends, it's going to be game night on It's No Secret again. And we've got a really fun game prepared for all of y'all. So make sure you guys come back and join us. We might be putting some little hints out in our stories throughout the week before game night to give you guys a little bit of an idea of what we might be playing. But yes, make sure you guys tune in next week and tell your friends
game night.
too.
You said game night, and I know next week is episode 49. I thought you were referring to the 49ers, and I was like, ugh.
Well, I will be now. No, I'm just kidding. Oh, man.
And till next week, remember, it's no secret.
Bye.
Bye.